The desperate call the Galactic Council sits in emergency session. For 300 years, they have ruled over 47 star systems with careful balance and ancient wisdom. But now they face something new, something they cannot handle. The plague started on Kepler 442b, a mining world where the blue-skinned Kalari people dig deep into crystal caves. At first, it seemed like a simple sickness. Workers got tired. They coughed. Then they started dying. The plague spread fast. It jumped from world to world through trade ships. The Council's best doctors could not stop it. Their medicines did nothing. Their technology failed. Entire planets began to go dark. Council leader Vex stands before the Great Assembly Hall. His 4 arms shake as he holds the report. "We have lost contact with 12 worlds," he says. His voice echoes off the crystal walls. "The plague kills within days. Our people are dying." The other council members whisper among themselves. The tall, thin Zephyrians with their silver skin look worried. The rock-like granite lords rumble with concern. Even the wise ethereal ones, beings of pure energy, flicker with fear. "What do we do?" asks Commander Kira of the Zephyrian fleet. "Our ships cannot carry enough medicine. Our doctors cannot find a cure." Old Counselor Gron, a granite lord whose stone face has seen 1,000 years, speaks slowly. "There is one option we have not tried," he says. "The humans." The hall goes quiet. Every being stops talking. Some gasp, others make sounds of disgust. The humans? Vex's eyes go wide. Those violent primitives? They only just learned to travel between stars 50 years ago. "Yes," Gron nods his heavy head. "But they are different from us. They think in ways we do not. They solve problems we cannot. Remember the Titan War? They ended it in 3 months when we fought for decades." Council member Lyra, an ethereal. One glows brighter. "The humans are dangerous," she warns. "They do not follow our rules. They change everything they touch." "But they get results," Gron says. "Their medicine is strange, but it works. They saved the colonies on Ross 128 when our plague doctors failed." The debate goes on for hours. Some council members say humans are too wild, too unpredictable. They break treaties. They ask too many questions. They want to change old ways. But the reports keep coming in. More worlds go silent. The plague spreads faster than their ships can travel. Children die in their mother's arms. Entire cities become empty. Finally, Vex calls for a vote. All who agree to ask the humans for help, 23 hands, claws, and energy forms rise up. 24 stay down. The motion passes by 1 vote, Vex announces. He sounds tired, scared. "May the ancestors forgive us." 3 days later, the message goes out on all frequencies. It reaches Earth in the Sol system, where humans have built great cities among the stars. The message is simple but desperate. To the human government, the Galactic Council asks for your help. A plague kills our people. Our medicine cannot stop it. We will pay any price. Please help us. On Earth's orbital station, Admiral Kate Ross reads the message. She is a tough woman with gray hair and scars from old battles. She has fought pirates and rebels. She has seen war up close. "Well," she says to her aide, a young officer named Tom Blake. "Looks like the high and mighty council finally needs primitive humans." Tom looks at the star charts. The plague covers half the galaxy. Billions are dying. "What do we do, Admiral?" Admiral Ross smiles. It is not a kind smile. "We help them," she says. "But we do it our way." She calls together the best human doctors, scientists, and military leaders. They study the plague reports. They look at the Council's failed attempts to stop it. "Their medicine is too gentle," says Dr. Maya Patel, Earth's top disease expert. "They try to cure without harming, but sometimes you have to be rough to save lives." "Their response is too slow," adds General Marcus Webb. "They follow too many rules, fill out too many forms. People die while they debate." Admiral Ross nods. "Then we move fast. We break their rules if we have to. We save lives first and ask permission later. The human fleet begins to gather. Medical ships with new equipment, military vessels for protection, transport ships full of supplies. As the ships prepare to leave, Admiral Ross looks out at the stars. She knows this mission will change everything. The Council asked for help, but they have no idea what they will get instead. The human fleet jumps to hyperspace, racing toward a galaxy in crisis. Behind them, Earth's leaders smile. The Galactic Council wanted human help. They are about to get much more than they bargained for. Human solutions. The human fleet drops out of hyperspace at the edge of Council space. 50 ships appear where empty space was moments before. Admiral Ross stands on the bridge of her flagship, the Defiant. Through the windows, she sees a Galactic Council patrol waiting for them. The Council ship Harmony looks like a work of art. Its hull curves in gentle lines. Soft lights glow along its sides. Everything about it speaks of peace and beauty. The human ships look different. They are built for war and work. Gray metal hulls covered in weapons and sensors. No gentle curves, just hard angles and heavy armor. Incoming message from the Council ship, reports Lieutenant Hayes at the communications station. Put them on screen, Admiral Ross orders. The view screen shows Captain Nix of the Harmony. He is a Kalari with blue skin and large, worried eyes. Admiral Ross, he says, "Thank you for coming. I am Captain Nix. I will guide you to the plague worlds." "How bad is it?" Admiral Ross asks. Captain Nix's face falls. "Very bad. Kepler 442b is almost empty now. Only 10,000 people left out. Of 50 million. The plague spreads faster than we can evacuate. Show us the medical data." Dr. Patel steps into view. She is a small woman, but her voice is firm. "Of course." Captain Nix sends the files. "Our best doctors have studied this for months. The plague attacks the nervous system. It causes organ failure. Death comes quickly." Dr. Patel studies the data on her tablet. Her face grows dark. "This isn't a plague," she says. "It's 3 different diseases working together. That's why your single treatments don't work." Captain Nix looks confused. 3 diseases? But our scans show only 1. "Your scans are wrong," Dr. Patel says bluntly. "You're looking for 1 enemy when you should be fighting 3. "That's your first mistake." Admiral Ross steps forward. "What's your second mistake, Doctor?" "They're trying to cure it gently," Dr. Patel says. "They want to heal without harming. But sometimes you have to poison the patient a little to kill." "The disease." Captain Nix looks horrified. "Poison, we cannot harm innocent people. You're already harming them by letting them die." General Webb joins the conversation. He is a big man with a rough voice. "Sometimes the cure hurts worse than the disease, but at least they live." The human fleet moves toward Kepler 442b as they travel. Dr. Patel works with her team. They create a new treatment. It is harsh. It will make people very sick before it makes them better. The Council doctors are shocked. "This could kill them," protests Dr. Zen, the Council's chief medical officer, over the communication link. "So could doing nothing," Dr. Patel replies. "I've seen plagues before. Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind." When they reach Kepler 442b, the humans see death everywhere, empty cities, quiet streets. The few survivors hide in sealed buildings, afraid to come out. The human medical teams land in force. They don't ask permission. They don't wait for Council approval. They set up treatment centers and start giving the new medicine to anyone who will take it. The first patients get very sick, they vomit, they shake with fever. Some Council members want to stop the treatment. "You're killing them," Captain Nix says to Admiral Ross. "Watch and wait," Admiral Ross says calmly. On the 3rd day, something changes. The sick people stop getting worse. On the 4th day, they start to get better. By the end of the week, they are walking around. The plague symptoms are gone. Spreads fast. More sick people come for treatment. The humans work day and night. They don't rest. They don't stop for meetings or reports. "How do you work so fast?" Captain Nix asks Dr. Patel as she treats her 100th patient. "We don't have committees," Dr. Patel says. "When people are dying, you act first and argue later." The Council doctors watch in amazement. The humans break every rule of medical practice. They skip safety tests. They give untested drugs. They take risks that would get council doctors arrested. But it works. The plague retreats. People live. Don't understand, Dr. Zen says to General Webb. You ignore our protocols. You take dangerous chances. How do you know you're right? General Webb looks at the recovering patients. Children play in the streets again. Families hug each other. We don't know we're right, he says, but we know doing nothing is wrong. Within a month, Kepler 442b is plague-free. The humans pack up their equipment and prepare to move to the next infected world. But something has changed. The survivors don't just thank the humans. They ask questions. How did you work so fast? Why don't you follow the old rules? Can you teach us? Admiral Ross sees the questions in their eyes. The council wanted human help with a plague, but they're about to get something much bigger, a revolution in how things get done. Growing influence 3 months later, the human medical fleet has visited 12 plague worlds. Each time they save lives that council doctors could not, but they also leave something else behind. Questions. On the water world of Aquatica, the fish-like nautiloids ask Dr. Patel why human medicine works so fast. She explains that humans test new treatments on volunteers who know the risks. The nautiloids are shocked. Your people volunteer to be poisoned? Asks Healer Finn, their chief medical officer. Some do, Dr. Patel says. When their families are dying, some people take big risks to find cures. The nautiloids think about this. For centuries, they have only used treatments tested for decades. Safe treatments, slow treatments. But human volunteers help find cures in months, not years. On the desert world of sandstone, the cactus-like thorn folk watch human engineers build new hospitals in days. Council construction takes years of planning and meetings. Human construction starts with a few drawings and lots of hard work. Don't you need permits? Asks Engineer Spike of the thorn folk. People are dying, replies human engineer Jack Stone. We'll get permits after we save lives. The thorn folk are amazed. They have always waited for approval before building anything. But humans build first and ask permission later. It seems wrong, but it gets results. The council leaders meet in emergency session again, but this time they're not talking about the plague, they're talking about the humans. They ignore our laws, complains Councillor Vex. They break treaties. They do whatever they want. But they save lives, argues Captain Nix. He has spent months working with the humans. The plague would have killed billions. They stopped it. At what cost? Asks Councillor Lyra, the ethereal one. They change everything they touch. Look at the reports. The reports are troubling. On every world the humans visit, local people start asking new questions. Why do we need so many meetings? Why do we wait so long to make decisions? Why don't we try new things? On New Geneva, a mining world, the rock-eating diggers have started. A rebellion. Not a violent one, but something worse for the council. They refuse to follow old mining rules. They use human techniques to dig faster and safer. The humans showed us better ways, explains Miner Bob, a digger leader. Why should we use slow, dangerous methods when fast, safe ones exist? The Council Mining Authority is furious. But they can't argue with results. Human methods produce more ore with fewer accidents. On the forest world of Greenleaf, the plant-like photosynthetics have stopped asking permission to expand their cities. They just grow them, like humans do. We waited 40 years for approval to build a new district, says Mayor Leaf. The humans built a hospital in 4 days. Why should we wait? Admiral Ross receives reports from all the human medical teams. The pattern is the same everywhere. Humans solve problems fast. Local people see this, they start to copy human methods. We're changing them, Dr. Patel tells Admiral Ross over dinner in the ship's mess hall. Every world we visit starts doing things our way. Is that bad? Asks General Webb, cutting into his synthetic steak. Depends on your point of view, Admiral Ross says. The Council thinks we're destroying their civilization, but maybe their civilization needed destroying. Lieutenant Hayes approaches their table. Admiral, we're getting strange reports from the worlds we've already visited. What kind of reports? Productivity is up, crime is down, people seem happier, but they're also more independent. They're not waiting for council permission for everything. Admiral Ross nods. She expected this. Humans don't just solve problems. They teach others to solve problems too. The council sends diplomatic messages to Admiral Ross. They want meetings. They want to discuss human integration into council space. They want to control us, General Webb says, reading the messages. Let them try, Admiral Ross smiles. We'll attend their meetings. We'll be polite, but we won't stop doing what works. The first diplomatic meeting happens on neutral space station Harmony Point. Council representatives sit on one side of a long table. Humans sit on the other side. Counselor. Vex leads the council delegation. Admiral Ross, he says formally, we must discuss the changes happening in council space. What changes? Admiral Ross asks innocently. You know what changes, Vex's forearms gesture angrily. Our people are abandoning our ways. They copy human methods. They ignore our authority. We just treated a plague, Admiral Ross says. If your people learned something from watching us work, that's not our fault. You're destroying our civilization. Counselor Lyra glows brighter with anger. No, Admiral Ross leans forward. We're improving it. Your civilization was dying from its own slowness. We're teaching it to live. The meeting ends badly. The council demands that humans leave their space. Admiral Ross politely refuses. We came to help, she says. Our job isn't finished. But everyone in the room knows the truth. The humans didn't just cure a plague. They started something much bigger. A revolution that will change the galaxy forever. The transformation 6 months after the first human ship entered council space. Everything has changed. The plague is gone, but the council faces a bigger problem. Their own people no longer want to follow the old ways. On the industrial world of gearworks, the mechanical clockfolk have built the most efficient factories in council history. They learned human techniques and improved them. Production has tripled in just 4 months. The old ways were too slow, explains factory boss Tick, his metal body gleaming under the work lights. Humans showed us that speed and safety can work together. The Council Industrial Authority demands that gearworks return to traditional methods. The clockfolk refuse. We will not go backward, Tick declares. Our workers are safer. Our products are better. Our profits are higher. Why would we change? The same story repeats across council space. The farming world of harvest uses human agricultural methods. Food production has doubled. The Council Agriculture Department is powerless to stop it. Admiral Ross receives daily reports from her intelligence teams. Every world touched by human influence is changing. Not just their methods, but their thinking. They're becoming independent, reports Commander Lisa Park, head of Human Intelligence Operations. They question authority, they try new things, they take risks. Sounds familiar, General Webb chuckles. They're becoming more human. The Council is panicking, Dr. Patel adds. She has just returned from treating plague survivors on the crystal world of Prism. They see their authority crumbling, but they can't stop what's happening. The Galactic Council calls an emergency session. All 47 member worlds send representatives. The Great Assembly Hall has never been so full or so angry. Counselor Vex stands before the crowd. His blue skin looks pale with stress. Fellow beings, he begins, we face a crisis unlike any in our history. The hall erupts in voices. Some delegates support the humans. Others demand they be expelled from council space. The wise ethereal ones flicker with worry. The granite lords rumble. With concern, order, Vex shouts. We must decide what to do about human influence. Delegate Prime from New Geneva stands up. He is a digger, his rock-like body scarred from years of mining. The humans saved us, he says. When the plague came, you could not help. They could. They broke our laws, argues Counselor Lyra. They ignored our procedures. They act without permission. And because of that, my people live, Prime replies. Your procedures would have let us all die. The debate rages for hours. The council is split. Half want to ban humans from their space, half want to work with them more closely. Meanwhile, human ships continue their work throughout the galaxy. They don't just treat diseases anymore. They help with engineering problems. They share technology. They teach new methods. On the ocean world of deep water, human submarine technology helps the whale folk explore ocean depths they never reached before. On the gas giant storm cloud, human weather control systems calm centuries-old storms. Each success creates more questions about the old ways. Admiral Ross is invited to address the Galactic Council. She stands before the same assembly hall where the decision to ask for human help was made just 8 months ago. Honorable delegates, she begins. You asked us to help with a plague. We did. But we also showed your people something else. We showed them that problems can be solved quickly, that new ideas work, that taking risks sometimes saves lives. You destroyed our stability, Counselor Vex accuses. Your stability was killing you, Admiral Ross replies calmly. How many would have died from the plague if you had stuck to the old ways? How many more will die from future crises if you don't learn to adapt? She gestures to the mixed crowd of delegates. Look around this room. Half of you now use human methods in some way. Your productivity is up. Your people are healthier. Your problems get solved faster. Is that really so terrible? Counselor Gran, the ancient granite lord who first suggested asking humans for help, speaks slowly. Perhaps, he rumbles, the question is not whether humans changed us. The question is whether that change is good. The vote is close. 24 worlds vote to maintain partnership with humanity. 23 vote to expel them. But the tie-breaking vote comes from an unexpected source. Captain Nix, representing the plague survivors, stands up. I have seen both ways, he says. The old way would have let my people die. The human way saved them. I know which I choose. The council votes to continue working with humans. But everyone knows this is just the beginning. The galaxy has tasted change. It likes the flavor. Admiral Ross leaves the council chamber knowing that humanity has achieved something remarkable. They came to cure a plague. Instead, they have cured a civilization of its fear of progress. But the real revolution is just beginning. The galaxy is learning to think like humans. And that changes everything. The new galaxy 2 years have passed since the first human ship answered the council's desperate call for help. The galaxy barely resembles what it was before. The Galactic Council still exists, but it operates very differently now. Meetings that once took months now finish in days. Decisions that required endless debate now get made quickly. The old ways of careful deliberation have given way to human-style action. Counselor Vex, now re-elected for his adaptability, stands before a much-changed assembly hall. The quarterly productivity reports, he announces, show record growth across all sectors. The numbers are staggering. Agricultural output has increased by 300%. Industrial production has doubled. Medical advances that would have taken decades now happen in months. Even crime has dropped as people find better opportunities. But the real change goes deeper than statistics. On Kepler 442b, where the plague first struck, the survivors have built a completely new society. They kept the best of their old culture but added human innovations. Their cities are more efficient. Their government responds faster to problems. Their people are happier. Mayor Blue, elected by popular vote instead of hereditary right, shows visitors around the rebuilt capital. We learned that tradition and progress can work together, she explains. We kept our values but changed our methods. The Kalari have become explorers again, something they hadn't been for centuries. Using human-inspired technology, they have discovered 3 new worlds suitable for colonization. The council that once discouraged expansion now celebrates it. Admiral Ross walks through the streets of New Haven, the capital of Kepler 442b. Children play games that mix human and Kalari traditions. Adults work in jobs that didn't exist 2 years ago. Everyone seems more confident, more willing to try new things. Do you ever regret what we started? Dr. Patel asks as they visit the memorial to plague victims. Admiral Ross considers the question. The memorial shows both the tragedy of the plague and the hope that followed. Human and alien. Names are carved together in the stone. Look around, Admiral Ross says. These people are alive, they're thriving, they're exploring new worlds and solving new problems. How could I regret that? The changes aren't just local. The entire galaxy has caught what some call human fever. The urge to improve, to innovate, to take risks for better results. The clockfolk of Gearworks have designed new types of machines that work faster and safer than anything the galaxy has seen. The Thornfolk of Sandstone have created architectural marvels that grow out of the desert like living things. Even the high, conservative granite lords have started experimenting with new mining techniques. We were afraid of change, Councillor Gran admits during a private dinner with Admiral Ross. We thought our way was the only safe way, but safety without progress is just slow death. The old granite lord has become an unexpected advocate for human methods. His people now lead the galaxy in geological research, using human-inspired techniques to find mineral deposits that were hidden for millennia. Not everything has been smooth. Some worlds resist change. Some groups still prefer the old ways. There have been conflicts and arguments. But even the resistance shows how much things have changed. Before humans arrived, no one questioned anything. Now everyone has opinions. General Webb reviews security reports from across the galaxy. Crime is down 60%, he tells Admiral Ross, but political activity is up 200%. People are more engaged with their governments. That's not a bug, Admiral. Ross smiles. That's a feature. The human fleet still patrols council space, but their role has evolved. They're no longer just medical responders. They're teachers, advisors, and partners. Human expertise helps solve problems from asteroid mining to weather control. More importantly, they're training locals to think like humans. Not to be human, but to embrace the human approach to problems. Try new things, act quickly, learn from mistakes, and never give up. Captain Nix, now promoted to admiral in the reformed council fleet, commands a ship crewed by multiple species. His crew uses human tactics mixed with alien wisdom. They respond to crises with speed and innovation that would have been impossible under the old system. We asked for help with a plague, he tells his mixed-species crew during a training exercise. We got a cure for something bigger, the plague of stagnation. As Admiral Ross prepares to return to Earth for her first leave in 2 years, she receives a message from Earth Command. Other alien civilizations have heard about the transformation of Council space. They're asking for human help with their own problems. Looks like we're about to get busier, General Webb observes, reading the requests. Half the galaxy wants to learn human methods now. Admiral Ross looks out at the stars, now filled with ships from dozens of species working together, in ways that were unimaginable just 2 years ago. Good, she says. The galaxy has learned something important. Asking for help isn't weakness. It's the first step toward getting stronger. The Council asked humanity for help with a plague. Instead, humanity gave them something better. The courage to change, to grow, and to reach for possibilities they never imagined. The galaxy will never be the same, and that's exactly how it should be.